Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Transformers War for Cybertron EarthRise Leader Class Optimus Prime, and I am so pumped up about this figure. In fact, to be honest with you, I don't have any footage of the packaging because yesterday when I picked this figure up, I was so excited just to get home and open it up and play with it that I didn't even take any footage of the box. I did snap some quick pictures with my phone just so I could show you guys what the box looks like in case you don't know, and the box does look cool. There's some really nice artwork, and it also has this real cool thing where it comes with this little decoder that you could use to find hidden messages on the box itself, so that's kind of cool. But to be honest with you, I could care less about any of that. All I really care about is the figure, and just check this thing out. Let's get right into it. This thing came out so good. It is such a good looking figure. We're gonna get in close and take a look at the details in just a second here, but just take a second to appreciate how awesome this figure looks. They did such a great job. And then look at the back. Look how small and compact everything is on the back. That looks so good. He does have a little bit of, stuff going on here, but not too much. It looks really nice. They did a great job of compacting everything and making it look good. And another thing I love about this figure is that there's not a lot of hollow pieces. Like the arms aren't hollow. There's no big like empty spaces or anything. I mean, the arms are hollow, but you can't tell because they're covered. There's little flaps that open up so you could get the hands in there, and we'll take a look at that during the transformation. But yeah, just look at that. No big empty ugly spaces. And oh man, that is awesome. That's such an awesome thing. You're probably going to hear that word a lot in this review because I'll be honest with you, man, I'm like blown away by this figure. And the one like gripe I do have with this figure is the price. So this setup here costs $50 at Target, and that is very expensive for a leader class Transformers figure. But to be honest with you, I'm completely satisfied with what I had here. Once I opened up the figure and started messing with it, I just started liking it more and more and more. And I decided that I'm very happy with this purchase, even though it was a little more than I would have liked to have paid. I mean, what can you say? If I'm satisfied, I'm satisfied. So I'm not going to cry too much about the price, but I do think that's going to be an issue for a lot of people. But at least it's a quality figure, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, just look at this thing, man. It's a beautiful figure. They did a really, really nice job on this. Holy crap, I can't believe it, man. I'm just like so happy with this figure, but let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at the details. So as usual, let's go ahead and start this off by taking a look at this head sculpt, and I think they did a really good job with it. It definitely screams G1 Optimus Prime, but it does have a couple of flaws. Nothing major, but just a couple small things that I noticed. But first off, for the positives, I think the sculpting work is very well done. I love that face plate. I love the colors in general, and it just looks really, really good. Has a lot of great details, and it does its job of capturing that old school Optimus Prime look. So I am happy with the head sculpt, but there's two issues that kind of caught my attention. First off, it feels like the eyes are a little too sunken in, and they're kind of hard to notice, especially because they're blue, the head is blue, they're just kind of hidden in there. So I do wish that the eyes maybe like came out a little bit more, or maybe they were a little bit brighter so they were easier to notice, because they're really hard to get in pictures. So that's one concern that I had. And the other thing is, check this out. Looking at the side of the head, check out the back part here. It looks like more of a metallic kind of paint job on that. And then on the front, it just looks like blue plastic. So that's kind of strange. I wish they would have just given it like the metallic blue plastic on the whole head sculpt. That would have been awesome. I don't know why they did it like, it's kind of like it's half painted, half not painted. Like this back piece is painted with a metallic paint and the front isn't. So that's kind of weird. I don't know if that's like a QC issue or what's going on, but I do wish that was a little bit different. Aside from that, this is an awesome head sculpt, and as I said, it does its job perfectly fine. But moving on to the body here, here's the front like windshield parts, I guess you could call them, that cover his chest. And check this out. This is craziness right here. Look, you could open this up, bam, and you have the matrix of leadership in there. That is super, super dope. I don't have that many Optimus Prime figures, so I don't have any that are able to do this. I know a lot of the Masterpiece and, third-party figures could do this, but this is not something that I've experienced before, so I was really happy about this. This is such a cool little feature, and you can take this out, but it is hard. So we'll take it out on camera real quick. Oh, there we go. That wasn't too bad. So there's that, but that looks really, really cool. You got the matrix of leadership, and you can stick that right back in there with no problem at all. But look at all the details on the interior of his little chest piece. Look at that. Just sculpted work all over this thing. All in there. Everywhere, man. That is crazy. And then moving on from there, the windshields do look good. You can see the windshield wipers there. You got some like studs going on, some different colors. The paint gets a little iffy right there, but you know, it's hard to see unless you're close with the camera or something like that. Just looking at the figure, these aren't really paint imperfections that I noticed, but now that I'm zoomed in, you know, it's definitely not as clean as it could have been. Moving down in here, this all looks good. A lot of great details. A lot of great colors. It really has that old school feel to it. I do wish that these wheels were rubber. They're not, they're just plastic, but they do look good. And then moving on, you got some more details. All of this looks really, really good. And then check out the arms. The arms are awesome. Let's start right here with the Autobots logo that looks really good. And then a bunch of sculpted details. Oh. And his hand has the metallic blue look, and it has like the articulated fingers, like a masterpiece figure. I don't have a masterpiece Optimus Prime, but I know that's like a trait of a lot of masterpiece figures, and that is really cool to get it on one of these kind of figures, you know. And then we'll look at this more in the transformation, but it's hollow right there, so you could stick his hand in there. But that's awesome. But yeah, look at all those nice details on this guy. Really, really good stuff. This is such a good looking figure. We got the smokestacks. And you know, I've never noticed this on other figures, but look at the insides of the ports. It kind of looks like a vent or something. And it looks like, oh yeah, they have them there too. So maybe it's on all the ports on these Transformers figures, but it really works right there next to the smokestack. It seems like it's part of it, you know, so that's cool. But yeah, man, this is a good looking figure. There's a lot of good sculpting work on this thing. And for accessories, Optimus comes with two main things. He has his trailer and of course his blaster. But let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at the blaster, because this thing is really, really nice. It's one of my favorite blasters that I've seen with an Optimus Prime figure. It just looks really good. It's collapsible, so you could store it on Optimus in different ways. It has a peg, so you could just stick it into the back right there if you want. And it just looks really good. I like it a lot. And I think another big reason why I like this blaster a lot is the fact that he could hold it so well, because he has this like masterpiece style gripping hand. So you're able to stick the gun in there, close the hand, and that thing is not going anywhere. So that is awesome stuff, and it's making me like the gun a lot more. Let's go ahead and take a look at a siege gun and see if you could hold on to that. This is the blaster from Siege Optimus Prime. Ooh, look at, there we go. You can hold on to that too, no problem. It doesn't go down as far as the blaster he comes with, so it'll be easier to take it out if you want, you know, but he can definitely grip onto it. So that's cool if you like that gun better. I personally like the gun that he comes with. I think it's very fitting and it looks nice on him. But that's cool that we have the option to use the siege guns if we want. Good stuff there. And then next, of course, we have his trailer. And this is really cool because I do not have a Optimus Prime that has a trailer yet, so I was really happy to get this. But it's really nice, but you know, the plastic's a little thin. It feels a little cheap, but it's cool, and I like that I have it. And to be honest with you, I'm probably just going to display it behind the rest of the Transformers or something. I'm not going to do anything special with it, but I do appreciate that they made this available, because I did need one. And yeah, it looks good. I just wish there was a little bit more paint detail to kind of bring it out and make it look a little better. It looks a little plain, and like I said, it looks a little cheap. But we do have the Autobots logo that looks good. I do wish there was rubber tires just like on the figure itself, but there's not. We have a little stand here that goes up and down, and then of course it opens up, and then you have his repair bay. And this is really nice too. There's a lot of really nice sculpted details inside of this, a lot of like gears and wires and just a bunch of cool things in there. But you know, there's no paint to bring it out. It just looks like plain, you know, boring, cheap plastic. I really wish they would have put a little bit of paint in there, because the details are crazy. They really went all out with the sculpt. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then we have this thing here that's articulated and could come down, and there's like these little claw things, so you could have him, you could have this like repairing something. And you know, now that I have this, I really need to go get Ratchet and Wheeljack. I know Wheeljack just came out with the EarthRise set, so I need to go get that. And I believe Ratchet was a Walgreens exclusive in the Siege line. Maybe they'll make an EarthRise version of him too. But in any case, now that I have this, I want to get those characters so I could kind of have them working on something in here. I think that would be dope. And another thing that's kind of cool about this is that this piece down here comes out, and it's a shield that you could have Optimus Prime hold. You could just peg it into his arm there if you want, and then he's got a cool little shield. But you know, I don't know, that's fine, that's what it was intended for, but I'm probably not going to use it as a shield. But like I said, this is cool, man. I just wish there was a little bit more detail, but it's definitely something that I'll use. I'll probably display it like this or something, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, the trailer and repair bay is pretty cool, but I do wish there was a little bit more detail in there because they did a good job with the sculpt, but they got lazy with the paint. And the transformation on this figure is actually a lot of fun and very easy to do, so I was very happy to see that. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of transforming figures. I know that's a stupid ass thing to say in a Transformers review, but to be honest with you, that's probably what kept me away from Transformers for so long, because I'm just not a fan of the transforming gimmick. I just want cool characters, cool action figures, and that's the reason why I like Transformers, because I'm into the robot modes and I like the characters. There's some times where I buy Transformers figures and I never even try to transform them. I just enjoy them as the robot mode, play with them, articulate them, and that's it. I don't even try to transform them. But in this case, the transformation was so much fun that I find myself doing it over and over for no reason. I'll just change them from robot mode to truck mode, and I completely enjoy doing it. So if they were all this easy and this fun, then, you know, I'd be more into the transforming aspect of Transformers. But, you know, that's usually not the case. Anyways, enough of that babbling. Let's go ahead and get into the transformation of this figure. Let me show you how easy this is. Even a big dumb idiot like me can figure it out. So first thing I like to do is put his arms together. Put his legs together, sorry. I did try to follow the instructions to do this, but Hasbro gives these crazy, like, detailed instructions where it shows every single step, and it was actually confusing for me. So I just stopped looking at them and just tried to figure it out myself. So I put these together, and the next thing you want to do here is open up the forearm flaps, collapse the hand into the forearm, which is awesome. Masterpiece status, right? That's dope. There we go. And the next thing we have to do is bring these out. Bring this down. Spin Optimus around. Bring these clips out. Oh, accidentally brought that back in. There we go. And then check this out. Look at all these little pieces. Look how nice this like folds into the chest. Look at that. Ooh, that's dope. Then we could open these up. And what I love about this too is a lot of these parts actually clip down very securely. See that? Got the nice clicking sound to make sure that it stays in place. Got a couple tabs right here that click the grill down into the bumper. So there we go. We're almost done. Easy money right here. Let's go ahead and do this part real quick. You can bring his head down. That tab's closed. Let's see here. Fold his arms back. It's coming along nicely, right? Check that out. And then you just close all these little panels here. Bam, look at that. Easy, easy money. So there we go. And there it is. Optimus Prime in his diesel mode. And that is really, really dope. You can take his gun here, collapse that down, put that right there, put his trailer on. Bam, look at that. So there you go. It's a real fun transformation, and you end up with an awesome looking Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode. It does roll pretty nice, but I do wish that he had rubber tires. I think it would have rolled a lot better if it did, but as is, it's okay. But let's go ahead and do a couple of vehicle mode size comparisons. Here we have Optimus Prime alongside the Siege Red Alert and Siege Hound figure. And I really hope that they do a EarthRise Hound figure, because I know a lot of people were disappointed with the Masterpiece one because there was a couple of QC issues. And I like this one, but I don't like it as much as I wanted to like it. So hopefully they come out with a nice EarthRise version with a couple of improvements. And that'd be dope. I'd be all over that. But anyways, I do feel like Optimus Prime does look a little small next to the Hound. I think he looks okay next to Red Alert. But I wish he was a little bit bigger in comparison to the Hound. And then next up we have Optimus Prime alongside the 35th anniversary cell shaded Siege Optimus Prime. I think it's Siege. It's considered Siege, right? I don't know. This is the standard Siege Optimus Prime figure. And as you can see, the EarthRise one is a little bit smaller, or it comes off as a little bit smaller because it doesn't have these top pieces. But still, I think it looks good, and it's the most realistic looking diesel out of the three of them, so that is awesome. And now for a couple of robot mode size comparisons. Here we have the EarthRise Optimus alongside the Siege Optimus Prime figures, and this new one just destroys those Siege figures. I like the Siege ones a lot, but they do not stand a chance against the EarthRise version. I was going to do a comparison video between the EarthRise version and the Siege one, but I mean, there's no comparison. This new one is so much better. Maybe I'll do a comparison video just so you guys can see all the differences, but as far as which one I like better, it's the EarthRise one all day. I do hope that one day they give us a EarthRise version with the same paint style as the animated cell shaded version over here. I think that would be super dope, but yeah, as is, the EarthRise one just dominates. And then next up, we have them alongside the Siege Red Alert figure and the Siege Hound figure. And then next up, we have them alongside the Siege Ironhide figure and the Revoltech Optimus Prime. And then next up, we have them alongside the Siege Soundwave and Siege Megatron. And then here we have Optimus Prime alongside the SH Figure Arts Hulk and Masterpiece Soundwave. And last but not least, we have Optimus Prime alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And as far as the articulation goes, I was really surprised by how posable this figure is, because I kind of thought he was going to have the same articulation setup as the Siege Optimus Prime figures. And he does pretty much. It's not like he has a whole lot of things going on that are different, but he's just a lot easier to pose and mess around with, and you could do a lot more with him. And I think a big part of the reason why is because he doesn't have all the kibble on him, and all that stuff is not in the way, so you could pose him up a lot easier. There are some improvements to the articulation, especially like in the hips, but aside from that, everything is pretty much the same. It just works a lot better because he doesn't have a bunch of things hanging off of him, so that is awesome. But let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the head. It is on a little ball joint, so it can swivel side to side. It's got a little bit of tilt to it, which is cool, as you can see there. And then he could look up to about right there, and then he could look down to right there. And then he does have a waist swivel. There's no type of ab crunch or anything like that, but it's fine because the way that the hips work, it kind of serves as like an ab crunch, you know, kinda. I mean, obviously he's bending at the hips there, but you know, you could pretty much get like the same poses that you would if you had an ab crunch. So I'm happy with that. That's cool. That works. Oh, that works out for me. And then for the arms, they are able to go all the way around. They could go back a little bit because of the transformation. They could come out to the side. He has the upper bicep swivel. He has single jointed elbows, but that's okay. They go about 90. He has a swivel at the wrist, and then he has the articulated fingers, which are awesome in this case. And then for the legs, they do come out to the side. They kick forward a really nice amount. They go back a pretty decent amount. That's about it. This thing does kind of get in the way of the swivel at the waist and the legs, but you know, it still allows you to get as much as you'd want, so that's okay. And then he does have a single jointed knee, but it's got a crazy bend. Check that out. And there's no type of swivel situation down here, but he does have these rocking type of ankles, and they don't go back and forth at all. I mean, like, you can't like tilt his feet forward or backwards at all. All you get is the rocking. So, but that's fine. It definitely makes the figure stable, and he has no problem standing up. So I'm happy with the foot setup, and I'm pretty happy with the articulation in general. As I said, you could get him into a lot of cool poses, much more than the Siege figures. So it's a real step up from the Siege figures, just in terms of articulation and just the figure in general. Okay, so overall, I'm sure it's obvious, but I absolutely love this figure. I think they did an incredible job with it. It's a huge step up from the Siege Optimus Prime figures, and I think those are cool. I like those figures a lot, but they do not compare to this. This guy is such an amazing figure. I'm so happy with it, and I really can't even think of anything that I dislike about it. There are small little flaws, but nothing crazy. The only one I could think of right this second is the situation with the head, how the plastics look different. Other than that, I think this figure is pretty much perfect, and man, I love this thing. I'm so happy with it. I do think it was a little too expensive. $50 is kind of a lot to pay for a Transformers figure like this, but still, you know, even after paying the $50, after getting home and opening it up, I was so completely happy. I was like, oh, okay, well, $50, whatever. At least I'm happy with the figure. At least it's awesome. And at least it's a pretty good bang for your buck. You know, you get the figure, which is awesome, and then you get the trailer. So that's good stuff. But yeah, man, just in general, this is a really nice figure. And, you know, I just got into Transformers, obviously. And the first thing I did was try to find a really good Optimus Prime figure. And the Masterpiece figures are great, but that was a little too much for me. I wasn't trying to spend hundreds of dollars on a good Optimus Prime figure. I just wanted a affordable one that I could get real quick and enjoy, but there was nothing really out there. So I picked up the Siege ones and I was like, oh, these are cool. But then this one was announced and I was like, oh, that's what I need. That's what I was looking for. I was like, oh, $50. Okay, it is what it is. At least it's not 100. At least it's not 200. So, you know, whatever. But I got it and I'm happy with it. And I'm just so glad that it came out as good as it did, because it would have sucked if this was another Optimus Prime that I got like, you know, it's just not quite there for me. But I think this one does it. This one makes me not feel so bad about not being able to get the MP44 one. That figure looks great, but I wasn't going to pay $450. That's insane. Plus, it had QC issues, and, you know, it seems like a lot of people weren't satisfied with that purchase. I think this purchase is much more satisfying than that one would have been. I think if I would have paid $450 for that, I would have been disappointed. It's just too much money. But with this one, it was $50 and I absolutely love it. So I'm a happy guy. But anyways, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this review. And if you did, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.